Jazz, I know you went to Astroworld Fest in Houston this weekend, and I actually was supposed to go with you, but I literally injured my foot the night I was supposed to get on my flight. And I think now the world has been aware that, the first night of the festival took a really tragic turn. And it was reported that 8 young people lost their lives. And so first, I want to give my condolences, my love, and sending light and prayers up to anybody who was affected by the very tragic evening. But Jazz, since you were there, can you talk to us about your experience that night?
Yeah, so before I give you my experience, I want to say as well, I'm here in Houston, and we have this saying that we like to call, we say we're Houston strong. So, when we went through Hurricane Harvey, when we just had the winter storm, people lost their homes, their lives, things like that. The community will always get through it. So just like you said, Anton, I want to send my love as well and my condolences to the families that, lost their loved ones, or even the people that were injured, because there were a lot of injuries. So with that being said, it was my first festival. So how crazy is that? I've never been to a music festival. And, when I got there, it was just overwhelming for me to see that many people there. Right when I got there, maybe like an hour into it, I hear about a stampede of people who, didn't have tickets. So they rushed security so that they could get in. Some of my friends were actually a part of that. They didn't get hurt, but some people did get hurt in that first original stampede. But when I got into the festival, the lines were like super long for food, because there were like food vendors. There was free water, but the lines were extremely long because there were just so many people waiting for things. But I did love all the performances that I watched. Roddy Ricch, I was on stage. I think you guys saw that. The mixed crew, we were on stage for Roddy Ricch's performances. We missed the beginning of Romeo and Mr. Ice Cream Man. We missed the beginning of that, but what I did see, I loved that as well. And then as the night progressed, I'm going to be honest with you, I knew when Travis got on that it was just going to be really crazy. So I actually went and sat in the media room. I was like, I'm not about to play with them, because like for other performances, I was on stage or backstage. But Travis, it was like everybody had, he performed on a separate stage, a totally separate stage. So I was like, nah, his fans are going to get crazy, because some people had been waiting at the stage that he would perform at since like 2 p.m. And he didn't go on until about 9. So I already knew, I was like, these fans are ready for Travis. Wow. So I actually went and sat in the media room. Even when, the surprise guest was Drake, I didn't see this live at all. And I was literally like a few steps away. I was right by the media room was right by the medical room as well. But I was just in there watching it on, Apple Live, wherever it was streaming from on Apple. So, I didn't really hear about the tragedies or anything like that. I heard people had passed out. And I heard that someone had passed away. One of the security guards said that. They were like, yo, somebody just passed away. He came into the media room and said that. But I didn't hear about 8 people or anything like that until the next day.
Wow.
But I already knew. I was like, Travis, one of my friends is actually a big Travis Scott fan. And he was telling me like rage is what it's all about. He was like, we go to Travis Scott concerts to rage. This is what he promotes and we love it. We just want to rage in peace. So it was kind of different for me to hear that side of it, because I'm like, I'm not into the mosh pits. I'm not into anything like that. But, overall for the beginning half, I did, have a lot of fun. But for Travis's part, I was in the media room, because where he was performing too was very muddy. So it was in like grass, so if you hear people talking about these sinkholes and things like that, it's because when they fell, you're literally in mud. So it's hard to get back up. Where the performances I watched, it was in the concrete. So.
Well, thank God you're safe, because when I read about everything that happened, I immediately thought about you and the rest of our team, because you guys were there. So I didn't know if you were in the audience, if you were backstage, or wherever you were. So thank God you were safe.
We were the first act, actually. The crazy thing is that we weren't even supposed to be there. It was just so many moving parts where the timing was just off with our schedule. I mean, my dad was added to the list before he even confirmed or signed. So out of good faith, he made it work out that morning. But I think the best thing is I want to read my post I put on Instagram. I'm going to read it off my phone if you could pull it up. But literally, I wrote, this weekend started on a high and ended on the lowest of lows. Me and my pops, Master P, kicked off Astroworld. And as you can see in the last slide, with energy that high so early in the day, my father expressed the importance of safety and simply having fun responsibly at the end of the set. My dad was actually supposed to perform later that night, but due to already being booked for the concert in Baltimore, that same day we had to be 2 places at the same time. I'm gonna just skip to this part, praying for all of those who didn't make it back home that night and to their families, and praying for healing. I hope this reminds us that although we just want to have fun, the devil is very present as well, and he comes to destroy our happiness. Stay aware, stay prayed up, and even more inspired to be a light to this generation. But it was just very heartbreaking in hearing the news, because we performed there. It was a lot of energy, but with that much energy and that many people, you do have to be aware of your surroundings, because you just never know. So yeah, like it's very hurtful, because I had a lot of family and friends there. Like I grew up in Houston. So we were calling my little brothers. Hersey flew in town. Mercy was there. My sister, Italy. And we didn't get to talk to them because the service was terrible. So we were even worried about them, but everybody made it out safe from my side, but definitely praying for the ones who didn't. It's definitely a tragedy.
I'm going to the Day in Vegas festival this weekend, and Jazz, just like you, this is my first festival. And I'm not even gonna lie, because of what happened this weekend, I'm extremely nervous to go. So do you guys think that this will force other festivals to change their security and other protocols moving forward?
I think that it will definitely force them to change the protocol when it comes to going to festivals and things. I think that, you know, the more that we go on this year, last year, I think we're seeing there's a lot of things that need to be changed and are changing as well. And I feel like this is definitely one of those things where it needs to be more security, or more, you know, more people that you can get to closer in the crowd that can help with things like that. Because I feel like even just with going to any concert now, like me and my friends, we're always like, if we can't be backstage somewhere or, you know, on the stage, like it's not really worth going. Yeah, it's not worth going because I mean, I feel like it's been dangerous like that for a minute. My friend also went to a concert where she was like bum rushed and trampled over, and she was like, I don't ever want to be in the crowd anymore. So I think it's a big thing that needs to happen.
It's so unfortunate because like festivals are supposed to be, you know, the highlight, like in music, for you to go to one concert and you can see so many different bands or artists at one time. And so like for this to kind of have a dark shadow over festivals now, and for you, Jamie, like you've never gone to one, you're going to go to your first one. And Jazz, this was your first festival experience. Like I've been to Coachella twice. Coachella was the most magical moment that I've ever had, going to see artists perform. And I could not imagine being trampled over, because it's thousands upon thousands of people that go to Coachella every year. So I hope that this doesn't change the experience of going to festivals, and it doesn't change the experience of a big festival like Coachella going forward. But we do have to figure out how we can make it safer so that this never happens again. And you know, what is the answer? Like, how do we make it, you know, safer?
Well, look, you know, kind of a different situation, but remember the church shooting in South Carolina and the deaths at the Black Knight movie in Colorado. When tragedies like this happen with so many deaths, it shows the change we need and actual security needed to go to places to simply enjoy ourselves. You know, the one thing I've learned is that no matter where you are, if you go out in public, you don't know if you're going to make it back home. That's just the simple truth. You know, where there's good, there's also evil. That's why security protocol had to change. If you think about the airports, remember we used to be able to walk straight up to the airplane? Yep. Not anymore. You know, for churches, we need armed security there, for schools, for movie theaters, etc. And now that's definitely going to have to change for festivals as well. You know, safety has to come first before anything. But like you guys said, you know, even out of this darkness, I think this is going to make a lot of young people more aware of their surroundings, even when you're going out just to have a good time. You know, no concert or any good time is worth your life.